Okay, it is 1 o'clock,
The broadcast is now starting. All
and
attendees are in listen-only mode.
welcome everyone, and thank you for being here. Before I even get going, I just wanted to remind, first off, happy Thanksgiving. Thanks for putting in the time before Thanksgiving. And we've got a couple things. Just wanted to remind you that there is plenty of free information at fredgleeck.com/training-videos and on the seminarmarketingexpert.com site as well. You would just click on this link right here, and that would get you there. So again, thank you all for being here. And what I wanted to do today is cover a number of things. This webinar, by the way, for those of you who are here for the first time, is for the benefit of my joint venture partners. Those are people who I'm working with in a more formalized arrangement, and that is all detailed. If you're curious at all, I don't know if you are, if you aren't, doesn't matter. That's all detailed at jvwithfred.com, and you can take a look at that site if you want and see some of the people. That's Bill DeWeese, voiceover-training.org, voice-over-training.org, Avish Perisher, Bill O'Hanlon, and there are a number of other joint venture partners as well. So that's who this is primarily geared to, is those people that I'm working with. And what I do is I work with them because I know process and I know product creation, and they are usually subject matter experts. So I'm finding people who are subject matter experts and helping them sort of take their information and communicate it to the rest of the world, and because they don't really want to worry about what I do, which is information marketing. So a little by way of background. So let me just erase this now so we don't have to have this sitting in our face here, and talk about a few of the issues. Issue number one, which is kind of important, it just came up before I got on the call, which is that my stepson, whose name is Kyle, has a site that we're sort of helping him with, and he's a video game kid. He knows a lot about video games, and he's interested in creating them. He's interested in playing them, and so we created, or I helped him to create a site called Video Game Reviewer Kid.com. And so at Video Game Reviewer Kid, this is Kyle's site. And one of the things that came up, which all of you should be aware of, is that if you're using images for anything on your site, you've got to be really, really careful that you're not infringing on copyright. So usually they give you a certain amount of leeway for review sites and places like that, but many of them, it's still a problem. So what I'd encourage you to do is make sure whenever you can that you check to make sure issue one is copyright infringement with images. And again, this has been a big topic on the web for a while now, but just be careful. Now, one of the ways to get around that is, and what we did was we went to Nintendo, where some of these games originate, and we asked them for a press kit. Now, once you have the press kit, it's presumed that they don't mind you taking those images and doing whatever you want with them, putting them up on your site, using them as examples, etc., etc. So be careful using images that, unless you pay for an image, you're not allowed to use it on your site, and there can be some pretty big and severe consequences. So let's make sure that you're not messing with copyright, because that's not something you want to do. Okay, so copyright infringement, and again, this is Kyle, who's my stepson. He's a big video game review kid, and that's his site. I wanted to alert all of you to another item here, which all of you should go and listen to, and that is, on my site, the latest blog post is an audio program. So if you click on this area right here, maximizing info product results using Kindle, I interviewed a woman by the name of Nancy Hendrickson, and all you have to do is click here to play. So you click it, and it is extremely valuable. This information is unbelievable. She gave in about 30 minutes a lot of stuff that you really need to know about as it relates to Kindle and publishing your information and material. So take a look and listen to that. It's about a 30-minute interview, well worth your time. I would highly recommend that you do it. And by the way, when it comes to Kindle, Kindle, you can recycle existing content. Like for example, I've got a ton of blog posts on here. I've got like, well over 7, 8, 900 blog posts on my site. And you can take existing content and repackage it. One of the things, and by the way, the site for that is, if you want to get going with that, kdp.amazon.com. And kdp.amazon.com, let me just take you over there and show you what that looks like. It's the Kindle site, and allows you to, and I think I can sign in here. Yeah, it does have me. And then you're given a list of all the things that you have up there and some other things I'm doing here. So but it's well worth taking a look at this particular site. And by the way, pricing on the Kindle and how you price your Kindle materials this is where you sign up. And believe me, it's not super easy to figure out everything they do. Both, Amazon and a few of the other sites out there sort of presume that you're a programmer from the way they behave. Another one that we just had a problem with last night in terms of that was Spotify as well, which is the music site. And Spotify presumes knowledge of a lot of programming in order to do a search, which is crazy. But the point is that Amazon and publishing your Amazon Kindle content, there are people out there who make their living from helping people put up their content on the Kindle, which seems sort of absurd because, if you think about it, it's supposed to be an easy platform both to work with as a provider, but also as a consumer, but not always the case. So there are people who make their living helping you put up your Kindle content. I'm putting together some material that will make that a lot easier. So if you've got material. Now, by the way, another thing on the Kindle that I learned, I was just thinking about this as I did it today, which is that the question is, Kindle has, you can put up articles and you can put up ebooks. You can put up what are called Kindle singles as well. And one of the things that I want you to make sure and do is understand that their definition is very different. For example, an ebook, it can be any length. So that means that if you've got, something that is 10 pages, you could call it an ebook. And in fact, they don't really differentiate between ebooks and articles. So I just put up something, and I can show all of you what I did here real quick, is I put up a former blog post that I had, and I'm charging 99 cents for it. Let me just show you this. It's currently in the process of being reviewed, actually, and being published. Well, let me just show you this here. So what is this? I wonder how I can get to that now. I don't think it's not allowing me to get to it, but you can make changes. Let's see what this is. It takes more details. It won't allow me to look at it at all, I guess. Well, anyway, so go to kdp.amazon.com. Dave, I see you're on the call, right? I take it that's a yes, but he's not saying anything. Dave Hamilton? Can't hear you. If you're trying to talk, can't hear a word. So let me just tell people a little bit more about the ebook. It can be any length, meaning to say, but the key thing, and this is very important, this is what I learned, by the way, from some of the other people that I interviewed. I interviewed 2 people over the past week and a half or so. One of them was a guy named Joshua Talent, and he owns a site that does a lot of this kind of work. And I also interviewed this Nancy Hendrickson lady, and she was very helpful as well. But the three things with your Kindle ebook that you should be aware of that are critical. Number 1 is title, obviously. Keywords in there, etc. Very important. Number 2 is cover art, because when people go to the site, they see that, and that's important. And by the way, I'm going to give you more than 3 things that are important here. So cover art, which is, and again, go on to a place like Fiverr.com. Although I had a bad experience recently with having somebody do a cover on Fiverr who gave me something back that was just crap. So be careful and make sure you look at their previous work. Fiverr is where you can get stuff for $5. And that's all I paid. And frankly, I didn't even get $5 worth of value, which kind of sucked. So cover art is important. Another thing that's important here in your Kindle ebook publishing is the description. And the description is where you have, and this is crazy, you've got 4,000 words to sell your ebook. Now, the article that I just uploaded was a little over 2,000 words, yet I have 400 words to describe and sell my ebook. By the way, there is no restriction that says you can't put, there are no restrictions on what you can put in the description. So that means you can put, URLs, websites, phone numbers, anything you want in there, as far as I know. And again, this is important because people will see it. Now, the other thing that I learned from Nancy Hendrickson, which was pretty interesting and crucial, is this. Listen to this carefully, because this really amazed me, which is her estimation is that between, for everyone, and I'm going to put this in, in all the caps here, for everyone who buys a book, there are 15 to 20 who will download a free sample. Now, that's interesting, and you're saying to yourself, well, that kind of sucks because they're downloading it, but they're not buying. Well, let me tell you why this is really good news for you. Because the sample, the free sample at Kindle, consists of, so then the question is, what's a free sample? And what does that consist of? It's usually, and I'm not sure if this is universal, the first 10% of the book. Now, if we're talking about an article of 2,000 words, we're talking about 200 words. So when if this statement here is true, and I'll assume Nancy is correct that it is, that means that you can be getting your information out to a whole lot of people, more than those who buy your book, by making sure that in your first 10% of the book that you do, you make sure and let people know how to get in touch with you, what website to go at, et cetera, et cetera. Because 15 to 20 times more people will download the free sample as opposed to those who will buy. And as far as I'm concerned, I don't care. I really don't care. It'd be great if everybody bought the book, but my real goal is to get them back to my main site to try and sell them other more expensive products and services. Because the one that I just put up, which by the way, and this is the one that I just put up, the article I just put up is about, I think it's about 2,100 words, and it's it's one of these, it's a sort of a list article, and I think I had 59 ways to blah blah blah, and again, it was keyword, it had my keywords in there, it was information marketing, but it's 2,100 words, and there are lots of live links in this ebook / article. And what am I selling it for? I'm selling it for a whopping 99 cents. Now, you should know a few other things about Kindle, and again, I'll tell you more about this because it got me excited recently. So let's talk about Kindle in general, right? So Kindle in general, number one, if you price something below $2.99, below $3, you get a 35% royalty. If you price it between $2.99 and I think it's $9.99, so $9.99, you get a 70% royalty. So now, of course, everybody's going to think, well, what? You'd be crazy to price anything under anything under $2.99 because it would screw up your royalty. But what the question is, and this is the big question all the time, is what is your end game? And what is your end game? Meaning, what are you trying to get out of this? Well, we know a few facts. Like I said, that people, they download a free sample 15 to 20 times more than they buy. And also, I've been doing my own price testing here. And when I switched one of my most popular book, when I switched it from 99 cents to $2.99, I got a drop of about 70% in terms of purchases. Now, naturally, yes, I did make a bit more, but that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to sell books, Kindle books or other books. I am trying to, and again, this answers the question, what is my end game instead of your end game? What is my end game? My end game is this. My end game is to find 100 JV partners, like people who are on this webinar with me, 100 JV partners who send me 100 checks each month coming from 100 different subject matter experts. That's my end game. So what do I care about? I'm not really trying to sell 99-cent books. Now, if I sold 300,000 of them, I'd love it. That'd be great. But the thing about it is that's not my end game. My end game is to find 100 JV partners. So what I'm trying to do is get people to go to the Kindle store, get people to find my material, get people to either buy or download the free sample, which gets them back to my site, which then entices them to maybe come to an event. But by the way, before people can become a JV partner, one of the requirements is that they attend a Fred Info Bootcamp. And I do that as part of my vetting process for people who want to become JV partners. So that's sort of what my end game is. And so I want you very much to consider Kindle and the Kindle store because, by the way, they don't give out their exact numbers, but clearly Kindle is selling many more ebooks than all the other sites combined right now. So they're selling a lot of ebooks, and that's where you want to be. Dave, are you there? Do you have your audio on
I'm here,
now?
Fred.
You
Can you
are
hear me?
there?
Yes, I
Okay.
was on mute before.
Yeah. Okay. So one of the things that we wanted to cover in this particular webinar, and Dave, do you have anything ready that we can show people?
Which thing are we talking about?
Anything you want. Probably what we were talking about earlier yesterday, but I doubt that's up, right?
The membership
Yep.
model. Yeah, no, nothing's up yet, but the idea, and this is something that we talked a lot on the webinar, is delivering content in a membership type format where they have to access protected content, but it's instantly available, and it can be as big as you want. Audio, video, downloads, anything like that.
Yeah, and so what we should let people know is that you and I had a lot of discussion about the following, which is that in information marketing, and that includes authors, speakers, consultants, anybody who sells any information, it usually comes in one of, 3 or 4 different forms, but for our purposes of selling something online, well, let's put them all. There's text, which is ebooks and physical books. That's one thing. There's video, which is either downloadable. It's viewable online or physical in terms of a DVD. And then you got audio, and that's either, again, downloadable, listenable online, or a physical CD-ROM, which is, by the way, happening less and less these days.
Yeah.
Pretty much, that's, again, I don't know when some of these places are going to, just like Barnes & Noble or Borders went out of business. I mean, I don't think it's too long until some of the stores that sell CDs are out of business too. I mean, that can't be long. Next year or two,
Yeah.
I think. So video, text, audio, and also then experiential events. But you can't, well, you can sort of sell those, and that would be sort of cool. Actually, experiential, sort of just put seminars, make it easy. So now, you could actually, though, Dave, couldn't you? You could sell a seminar from within a membership site because if people could only access a page on your site, could you not be doing a live broadcast from within that page?
Well, interestingly, Wishlist, which is the software that I think is the best application for it, one of the things that they'll protect are webinars, and I think they sync up with GoToWebinar, so it becomes a protected thing, just like a web page.
Got it. So you can actually use this similar. So let's say, for example, that we set up a membership. By the way, this isn't a membership site, folks. This is product delivery via a membership model. And what I mean by that is that rather than have to send out your books, rather than having to send out your videos, rather than having to send out your audios, rather than having to have people attend physically your seminars or other events, you can have them do so online, so you have no delivery issues. And by doing that, I'm thinking that, excuse me, I swallowed the wrong way. Take over, Dave.
Yeah. Well,
Excuse me.
the idea, and I think this is the new wave of how things will happen. Some people want to have a physical product to put on their shelf. Most people want to instantly access it. We want to wait. It's like we used to go to Blockbuster and wait for a DVD.
Yep.
Now we press a button, put in a code, and get the movie instantly.
Yeah, and
Same
I
thing
mean,
with
this is
information.
perfectly, so what I'm saying is, you can have a page that the only thing you do on that page is, say somebody signed up for a year, and that year included a webinar every week. They would
Yeah,
have to be able to get access to that page to be able to see the webinar, correct?
correct.
So there you have
Yeah.
it, folks. You've got now. I'm not choking anymore, so I can talk. But what this allows us to do is to basically deliver all of our information products with no delivery issues whatsoever. Now, the one thing that you and I have been talking about, and I guess it's fine if we do it here as well, because I think that people would benefit from seeing this discussion, which is, let's just say you had 20 different videos and you wanted to sell those different videos via this kind of a system. So now you want to sell those videos in 3 different ways, and this is what I would recommend you do. You either send a physical DVD, which for that you'd use, again, we talked about this last week, I think, Kanaki.
Yeah.
You could sell a viewable online video, which for that we would be using Amazon S3, which is going to sort of serve up that video.
Correct.
And we would also, and again, this would be served or shown on a protected page, which means that it's behind a door with a lock and a key that you only get if you're a member, quote unquote, if you paid a fee. The other thing is downloadable as well. So sometimes you may want to make your material downloadable video as well. Now, one of the things that people are concerned about is if they make their video downloadable, that people can steal it and show it to other people and stuff like that. But I see a big problem there these days, Dave. What do you think it is?
Well, I think people can do that anyway if they get access. I'm not sure what you're saying.
I'm saying that you've got screen recording software
Oh yeah,
that allows
exactly.
people to make an incredibly high quality image of a video while they're watching it, even though they're not allowed to download it.
Right, exactly. If people want to steal it, they're going to.
Yeah,
So
and my line, as you've heard before, is expect people to be dishonest. You'll never be disappointed.
right, and it's just like the club for your car. It's going to deter 95% of the people that are just looking to bust in, get a joyride. If a professional thief wants to get past the club, it'll take him 10 seconds. But most of the people you're trying to deter, it'll work.
Absolutely. Now, the nice thing about this is that, this allows us. So Dave, the same thing that we just described here with video can also be done with audio, can also be done with text or PDFs or whatever. So any kind of content that people on this webinar or watching it after the fact want to produce can be protected in this manner, correct?
Absolutely.
And all you're doing is basically putting a door with a lock on it in front of the page that people would have to get to in order to do that. But now we came up with this scenario. If, let's say, you had 20 different videos that you were selling, okay? Let's go back to that. So if we had 20 different videos, and I'll just actually do this here. So we had 20 different videos, each one of them obviously unique. So A through, what would that be, about T maybe, I'm guessing.
Yeah, sounds good.
So videos A through T are all separate and unique videos. You now want to be able to create a way that people can either buy individual videos or buy multiple videos, not meaning, and then as opposed to buy all videos. So we have one of 3 different possibilities here. People may want to buy just video letter C. Or they may want to buy C, E, G, and T. Or they might want to buy A through T. So how are we going to, or have we come up with yet a solution to do this in this format that we're talking about?
Well, almost.
Almost.
There's a few more hurdles. The first and third option are easy. You just buy whichever product, you create a login for your membership access, and you look at the content. If you want to come back and buy level B, you would pay with credit card. It would ask you to register, and you'd say, I already have an account, add this to my current account, and it goes through it.
But I'm
um,
but I'm confused, Dave. If we can get people to buy individual videos, then aren't we just letting them buy individual videos but multiple times? One for C, one for E, one for G, and one for T?
yeah, I mean that's how a typical membership product or membership site works. You just buy access. The tricky part, which we'll overcome, is if you want to buy A, C, and G, well, you can buy it through a shopping cart or PayPal easily, but it's on the membership side creating the login. It's only set up to create one login at a time. So
Oh,
anyway,
okay. Wait, wait,
it's
wait, wait, wait. I think I see the problem here. So, in other words, if I wanted to buy C, E, G, and T simultaneous on one purchase, that would present the problem.
yeah, exactly.
If I
You
came
could
back on 4 separate days and bought C first, then bought E, then bought the G, and then bought T, we have no problems, correct?
no problem whatsoever. And if you wanted to create a bundle, like just the vowels or whatever, four levels,
Yep.
and you pre-bundle that in Wishlist, you can buy that bundle and you get access to those levels. It's just, in the shopping carts, like add another product to your
Yeah.
cart.
Yeah.
That's the problem
Okay,
that we got to
so
figure out.
here's what I think we should do until we figure out exactly how to overcome that, because this is a problem that has to do with the shopping cart talking to Wishlist, the membership site software, correct?
Right. Well, yeah, exactly,
Okay,
exactly.
so if that's the case, let's just assume if we were doing this for real, and these videos are, let's just call them 1 through 20 to make it easier and not mix vowels, no numbers and letters here. So we got 1 through 20. Let's make 1 through 5 a bundle. Let's make 6 through 10 a bundle. 11 through 15 a bundle. And 15 through 20 another bundle.
Exactly.
Now, the problem comes where someone wants to. Now, here's my way of solving this, which is before anyone clicks to order anything, or maybe when they go to the shopping cart, is it possible to embed a video above, right on the checkout where the shopping cart is?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so we put a video which says, unfortunately, at this point, if you buy more than one item, you can't do it. So
Right.
if you want to blah, 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 we put it in the video that basically says, you either buy a bundle, you buy an individual video, or you buy the whole lot of them. But if you wanted to buy 1 through 5 and number 6 on the same order, you couldn't do it.
Right. Right.
And I understand that, but I think if we explain it to people now, it shouldn't be this way, but it is what it is, and we can't overcome it at the moment, right?
Yeah, and it has less to do with the communication and more to do with Wishlist is designed to create a login to a level. And you're saying create a login for 3 different levels at the same time, and it's not set up to do that.
Now, I got a question for you. Now, if the way that you're describing this, and again, this might get a little bit technical for people, but I think if you listen to me, you can follow it. In order to make this happen, videos 1 through 20, you're going to need 20 separate pages. So far, correct, right?
Correct.
Now, in order then to create bundle 1 through 5, 6 through 10, 11 through 15, and 15 through 20, do we now need to create 4 additional pages, one for each of these that houses all 4 or all 5 of them at once?
Yes, I mean, the assumption is that each product has its own landing page of content that
So in
you want
other
to
words, we have to create a duplication and have not only is video number 1 in one of these separate individual pages, but it also appears in the 1 through 5 bundle if they bought it that way.
That's correct.
Okay, so this it's not able to do this. Now, again, the reason why we're using wish list and not any other particular, not any other software to do this is why.
Well, I've tested them all. I've used several of them, and it offers the best balance of ease of use, functionality, and support.
Okay, good.
Um, th-
Now,
so,
you are in the process right now of starting to prepare a a system that will allow people to do whether and what you're doing per what we talked about in the car yesterday is you're preparing sort of a standard site to do the following. And this is where it gets exciting, folks, because when Dave has this done, this is going to be really cool. So he's going to create a sort of a standard templated site that will allow you to have 20 of everything. 20 text documents, 20 video documents, 20 audio documents, and 20, those are pretty much it because seminars is a separate issue or webinars. So in other words, you're creating a site that will have all these pages pre-built, but people don't necessarily have to use them all, right? It's like in a hotel, you have 20 rooms, but at any one point, only 3 might have to be occupied.
right, exactly.
So the fact that they have those pages there isn't going to hurt you. But if in fact you go from 3 today and you add another video tomorrow, you don't have to go reinvent the wheel. You've already got the 4th page ready and built. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's expandable and very once it's set up, very easy to expand like that. You're exactly right.
Okay, cool. So that, and we anticipate that you'll have that ready maybe sometime before the end of the year.
Absolutely. December's the target. And Fred, if you'd like to, well, I wanted to show you something which I think may spark people's ideas. And if people are thinking about what content do I have that can be sold in either a physical format like a DVD or an instant access, I wanted to show you something kind of interesting. And well, I'll tell you what, if you want to give me the screen, I can show you my latest
Okay.
client and what he's doing with it.
Okay, let me do that here 1 second. Change presenter to Dave Hamilton. And just give me a second before you start because I'm going to have to resize this for the recording purposes.
Okay. Okay.
I'll give you the go ahead. I don't even see your screen yet.
Let me know if you see me.
I do now, but hold on 1 sec.
Okay.
And let me move this down here. Okay, shoot.
Okay. This is the head basketball coach at UMass. This guy named Derek Kellogg. And his information specialty, are, among other things, that people want is I'm a basketball coach. Doesn't matter if I'm middle school girls or Division I men's basketball. What drills are people using that I can use with my players to train my team? He's got that in his head, so he created a information product where he filmed about 50 drills that he does with the UMass basketball team. And this is a squeeze page. That's him, Derek Kellogg there. And we created a members page. Now, we could sell this via a DVD, but they literally got a flip camera, stood in front of, on the basketball court during a practice, and he showed them. And I'll show you what once you get access, and it's still under construction, but it's going to look like this. These are the categories: the warm up, agility, ball handling, conditioning. And if you
Now
click
stop
on
one
one,
second. So yeah,
okay,
that was my point. So within each of these categories, there are multiple videos, correct?
right, right. Now in this case, he's selling them all at one, but he could sell each one of these. Warm up is its own product, and you get access to that. Agility is the own product, and you could have infinite videos or content within each one.
And if you wanted to, you could also sell each one of the individual warm-up videos separately as well, like we just discussed.
Exactly, exactly. And this is, I'll just show you.
Yeah.
He put a kind of snazzy little intro. Bear with it. Let me jump ahead. But this is what they look like.
This is our mic kin, reverse mic, and a tap drill. And we do this with our team every day to get ready for practice and get loose. It's a great way to work on your layups, get ready to work on your hand knife. Our mic ins, and here goes Ricky Harris working on our mic ins. Here we go, Ricky. The one thing I ask is they get a good rhythm going, keep the ball above your head, and we're going for 30 seconds. Good players get anywhere from 22.
So I don't know how that came out on the
It's a little
webinar,
choppy. It
but
was a little choppy, but not bad.
yeah, but you know, obviously, all coaches want to know is give me some drills that I can do at practice, and who better than a D1 basketball coach? And when we set this up, see, you couldn't ask people to download this stuff. It's too big. The files are too big. With this, when people visit the site, they can purchase, they can get a membership login, and they access the videos instantly, and boom, the money's in the bank.
Yeah, I think that everyone should be able to understand how this could work for them, Dave. I think that's a great example. Now go back to the home page if you would.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, this is just a squeeze page that he's going to be using.
Let's click on his video and let's see what that looks like.
Ah, interesting. This is it's called a fake out video. It's designed to get you to opt in. So it's not a real video, although when you do opt in, and let me just, I'll just put into some dummy stuff. This is what you see. Oops, hang on. It knows that's a dummy address. Hold on.
Yahoo.
Yeah. Okay, this is it. And he recorded this video a few nights ago before they played Boston College. So,
Hi, I'm Derek Kellogg, head coach at the University of Massachusetts at Amherst. Get ready to prepare for our game tonight in Boston, Massachusetts versus the Boston College Eagles.
So anyway, but these are the 6 videos you get for free, and then obviously they upsell you to buy the package.
Got it. Now, did you develop this site?
I did. In fact, I developed it over the past 5 days.
Now, let me ask you one question. Has he seen your basketball talent yet?
Why do you think he called me? Yeah, I'm living vicariously through my nerdy web stuff here.
Yeah, no, that's great. So now, this is good, and I think that I think it's a great it's a great idea. Now, when does this go live?
We launched Tuesday, and he's actually pretty sharp. He's got a guy working with him that played basketball with him, but they've got affiliate partners, about 15 or 20 that they're going to promote. It's a ClickBank product, and they should have emails going out to a couple 100,000 people that are in the sports, either coaches or players or sports professionals.
What's his end game?
He's selling the DVD, and his end game is to get his brand out. With maybe write a book or have some more products, but we really want to do this right. And there's actually a whole launch. I mean, this is the squeeze page. It's just the start, but there's a sales page that's being developed. With stuff like this. So it's the squeeze is to get people in, then you upsell them for the big launch, and then you promote it, and it goes big from there. So.
Good. Well, this looks great. And again, why don't we talk about? I'll take this back here. What are we thinking? What do we need to understand from this that's applicable to anyone that might be listening?
Well, that's the key. And I'll be honest, Fred. I'm sure you felt this. There's a frustration that if people would just act, because everybody has got some knowledge that somebody would pay for. I believe it. It's just people, they don't take action to get it down, and they think they got to, write a novel or record a full feature-length movie. You just need at the very least, a flip camera, somebody that can build a site for you. You need to write a few things. But these things can go up a lot quicker than what people think if they'll take action.
Okay, now
really
I know that you want. Do we still want guinea pigs for anything?
Yeah, I'm open to it. I'd like to build as much a portfolio. They need to fit into some guidelines. But I've already got a couple in the bank. I'm doing stuff for my father for his speaking, and got one for one of your seminars. So yeah, please have people email me. I'd like to get a wide spread of types of applications here.
Okay, and so this is for people who may want to do something similar to what we've just seen, and that may not be video, it may be audio, it may be text. But also, the one thing that this made me think about here recently is that, everybody thinks of usually the starting point for everybody is a book, although the book is probably the most difficult of all the products to put together. I think that one of the reasons why people get freaked out about a book and putting a book together is they think that a book has to be 200 pages and has to look like books that sit in Barnes & Noble. No longer true, especially with Kindle publishing and everything else. So if you have and I always call it a single concept idea book, again, something like Seth Godin's The Dip, which I don't know how many words it is, but it's short. That kind of a book, I think that people should stop thinking about how long does their book have to be, or how long does their video have to be, or how long does their audio have to be. The answer is as long as it takes to get the idea across. I mean, how long are some of those basketball drills?
I think the longest one is maybe 2 minutes.
Right. So again, here, folks, it's all about showing people what the drill is. You don't have to, go on for 15 minutes padding it with all kinds of nonsense. People just want to know, what are the drills? How do I do them?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think that's good. So now, anyone that once this is up, I think that, let's say, for example, you were to put a site up like this for someone, then what happens? I mean, all of my JV partners are going to want to be doing this. Their concern would be, okay, Dave, we don't mind paying you once, but we don't want to have to pay you forever. Will I be able to, once you set me up with that site, be able to add content myself?
Yes, and that's a good question, and I understand people saying that. And there is a little bit of a learning curve, but since we built it on WordPress, which I think is the way to go, it makes it very easy to log in and add content. But here's the thing, Fred, and this is, I think, where people get hung up, is I tell people, organize your content before we start doing this.
Yeah, this is critical. Listen to this, folks. So organize content before you get going.
Yeah, because it just, for instance, with Derek, he said, I got 6 categories and I know the exact videos that go in each one, and here's the FLV files. And I said, oh, love it. And I slapped the site up and it went fast. And then I said, all right, here's what you have to do if you want to add more. And I showed him things. The problem that I encounter with people is they say, well, I've got this kind of fuzzy idea of stuff, and maybe I'll have categories of this, and who knows, maybe I'll put a download section, and they don't have it mapped out in their mind, and I can't do anything until we organize it, and it drags on for weeks.
Let me ask, let's
ahead.
ask this, Dave. Why is this something that you and I are both so excited about? Let's explain to people why this is so exciting. Why is this so important to people who have market information?
Well, to me, it opens a door that was never opened before, and that is, it's instant. It's appeasing people's instant access, and it takes 90% of the work out of it. Once it's set up and running, all you need to do is kind of tweak the machine to keep it flowing well, and checking the balance of your bank account as it goes up. I think it's an incredible solution for information marketers.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know if anybody has actually sent out stuff in the mail. One of the things that always happens is somebody, they claim that it never got there, that it got there, it was broken. I don't know how many different times I've had to resend stuff. It's a pain in the butt.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
this removes all of that, right?
exactly. And let me throw one thing that I just did this afternoon. I've been telling you about automating the Kanaki delivery system, and
Now,
I
explain
did
what
it.
you mean. So
Yeah,
automating Kanaki means that you're going to make it so if people want to, they can get a physical product via Kanaki.
exactly. And I don't know if he's listening, but there's a professor out in Boise, Idaho, Scott Straub, that we both know, and he got back to me and says, "I've got a Kanaki product. It's on memory. It's goodgradesfast.com, and he has a DVD." And I synced it up, and I just did my first test purchase where I bought it through his one Web Marketing Magic account.
Can we look at the site?
Yeah, sure, sure.
Goodgradesfast.com.
Goodgradesfast.com.
I love the site name.
Yeah, and it's all about memory and helping kids to increase their grades by some of his techniques.
Okay, let's see. It's here it is. Okay, so there's Scott. Okay.
And there's a DVD that you can buy, and if you purchase it,
Where do I click? Where
the
do you want me to click?
uh,
I'll click
where's that,
on
that
high
middle,
school
that
and
middle
college
one?
students.
Yeah.
So there's nothing there yet.
Yeah, that's right. It's well, you know what? I didn't want to while I was testing it. I want to make sure. Um, but I did a test purchase, well, a real purchase, but I reduced the price down, and I entered it, and then I went over to his Kanaki account, and the DVD was shipped, and I'm like, and so now I got to wait a few days to see if it shows up in the mail. But I'm like, wow, that's pretty awesome. You buy it online, it ships out, and the only manual thing you have to do is you have to log into Kanaki and make sure it's funded with either a credit card or PayPal. But it costs, it's amazing. It's like
Well, wait,
$6.
Dave, can't you
Go
set
ahead.
that up in advance?
Yeah, exactly. You can load it up with $100.
Oh, wait a second. So
And
in
it's
other
only
words, Kanaki won't go out and grab your money from a credit card as the orders come in.
right.
You have to put a certain amount in.
Right. They won't debit PayPal or credit card. But I find people probably, even though it's automated, they want to go and take a look and make sure. But you can fund it with $1,000 and go away for a month, and it's good to go. And if you run out of money in the fund,
Yep.
it's okay. People just line up in Kanaki, and as soon as you fund it, it ships.
Got it. So in other words, if you come back and there are 3 people that Kanaki hasn't been able to ship to because you didn't have enough money in your account, they're still in the queue. They don't go away.
Exactly.
That's great. Yeah, I love the idea. And by the way, I want to know one thing about Scott. How come he's a professor now? How do you get? Is that a mail order thing?
He's a brilliant guy. I think they just finally recognized, and they awarded him. Harvard must have called him. I don't know.
Okay. So yeah, that's some pretty good stuff. So now, when sometime within the next few weeks, you'll be able to demonstrate some of this stuff for the rest of the group, right?
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, Fred, um, if I had a Kanaki DVD or CD myself, I would show you now. And I'm kicking myself. I'm like, why don't I have any products out there? So before I get guinea pigs, I'm going to get my own out there, and you can get it. It'll ship. I mean, it's awesome because when it shows up, it's in this pristine white envelope, bubble wrap. You take it out and it's shrink wrapped with plastic, and you're like, wow, I'm big
Yeah.
time.
The other thing for people who don't know Kanaki, which is really important, is that First off, it costs $1 per DVD, which includes, again, this is crazy. It includes the what is it? The DVD case, the art, 4-color art on the on the outside. It also includes the DVD itself with color artwork on the DVD, right?
Oh man, yeah, it's beautiful. It's as good as anything you'd buy in a store.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, and you can upload your own art, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, this is
They have
amazing.
some
And so really, what costs more than anything else in here is the shipping.
yeah, which you just pass it along to people. I mean, they're expecting a $4 or $5 shipping fee, so you just pass it along, and it becomes a $0 product. I mean, for you, it's automated. That was always the holdup before, is you can charge more for a physical product, but it's a headache, to go burn the DVD, to put it in an envelope,
Oh,
drive
by
it
the
post.
just interrupt also, Dave. It can not only be DVDs, it can be CDs, it can be audio or video.
Exactly, exactly, and it can be bundles. You can have a 5 DVD set that ships out to people.
Yeah, that's important. Yeah, because you can have, people who order like some kind of your set of, your 6 DVDs on blah blah blah, or 6 audio cassette, or not audio cassettes. I'm back in the dark ages again. Audio CDs.
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Yeah, what are
Yeah,
those? I can't wait till one of my stepkids says, "By the way, what's a VHS?" You know.
right,
And
I know, I
yeah, so
know.
all of this is great. So I'm excited for you to show us soon what this looks like in person. But that's some really good information, Dave. So I'll have everybody make sure and come back next week and the following weeks. We do these every week at the same time, same channel. So Dave, thank you very much, and everybody else. Hey, Dave, any last comments you want to make?
I'd love to hear from people, even if they just tell me what their idea is, to see if this might work, because this will be the way things are done in the future.
Yeah, so that's Dave at wmmagician.com. Super, Dave. Thank you very much. Happy Thanksgiving to you and everyone else on the webinar. Thank you very much, Dave.
We'll see you, Fred.
You got it. See ya.
The organizer has ended this session.